thrilled to celebrate construction of Edwards Vacuum's new semiconductor dry pump manufacturing factory. 600 new, good-paying jobs, hundreds of construction jobs. A four-letter word is what makes us so happy about this project. J-O-B-S, jobs. Right here, in just over a year, hundreds of local workers will be employed at this factory behind me, where they will build some of the most sophisticated cutting-edge equipment for the semiconductor industry, not just in New York and not just in America, but in the world. This is one of the world-class plants right here in Genesee County. Now, I wrote my CHIPS and Science Law years ago with upstate New York in mind. I had projects like this, historic groundbreaking in Genesee County in mind, because I knew if we located some of the major chip fab plants here, and we have a whole bunch, we would need those who supply these plants with the sophisticated machinery and materials. And at the top of the list is Edwards. So this story is going to be repeated over and over again across upstate New York. Over and over again of what we now call the semiconductor superhighway, I-90, as it runs from Albany all the way to Buffalo through Rochester and Syracuse. He knew, because of the great workforce here, and the cheap water, and the good electricity, and the good local government, that Genesee Valley could compete with Silicon Valley, that we could make I-95 the semiconductor superhighway across America. And that's what's happening. The vacuum pumps that Edwards makes are top of the line. They're a lot fancier than the vacuum you'd find in your kitchen. And they take a lot more work and a lot more skills. But massive semiconductor plants like the one Micron is building in Syracuse, the biggest memory chip factory in the United States and probably in the world, they need the most sophisticated equipment ever invented to make their computer chips. These tools, these fancy tools, need the vacuum technology to manipulate the chip wafers. This is where Edwards comes in. They're a supplier to the big chip fab plants across America and across the world. And we're going to have others like that. In fact, a vast amount of the world's microchips are made by using equipment made by Edwards. And where will that equipment be made? Right here in western New York, in the Rochester Finger Lakes area, in Genesee County. The pumps that Edwards makes will help pump $300 million into Genesee County, 600 new jobs. It's the kind of people from Buffalo and Rochester will come here to work. So it affects the whole region. And it's the kind of investment that a decade ago would never have seemed possible. But because of the CHIPS and Science Act, the great assets that we have here were pulled together into a plan. But we said if we're going to put money, we want it put money into these plants, we want it made in America. And the chip fab industry and all its subsidiaries is now returning to America after going overseas for so many years. Made in America. Earlier this month, I announced that the Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse region is going to be the first major chip tech hub and the only one that is dealing with chips. And Edwards is a vital part of that plan. Listen to this, folks. This is going to make you swell with pride. By the end of the decade, 25% of the chips produced in the U.S. will be made within a few miles of this great I-90 corridor. 25% of all the chips in America. We're back. We're back. So with the CHIPS and Science Laws of Lightning Rod, we're seeing investments flood into upstate New York's manufacturing sector. In central New York, Micron's investing $100 billion to build one of the biggest chip fabs in America. Global Foundries is investing $12 billion to build a second chip fab over there in Saratoga County near Albany. They'll be the biggest manufacturer in the U.S. of legacy chips, which the auto industry and so many others need. In Rochester, semiconductor supply chain companies like Corning are investing $139 million and investing in new jobs. And so there we have all of that. And now I'm pushing for the federal CHIPS incentive that will accelerate the timeline. So this groundbreaking is a win-win-win. It's a win for Edwards Vacuum. It's a win for Western New York's economy. And it's a win for our American national and economic security, because we're going to have these factories here and no one can cut off supply like they did during COVID.